As we know, housing prices are absolutely insane, forcing a lot of people to move back home with their parents. Before we get into the clips, let me give you my understanding. I wholeheartedly believe if you have the option to move back with your parents, family, you should do so for as long as possible. Like I said, with the elevated prices in rent and mortgages, I mean, like I said, if you could go home and live for free or maybe a few $100s a month, I mean, that's probably the smartest decision for your future. Like I said, to put you in a better position so you could save up some money, maybe purchase a home, pay off some debt, and like I said, have more disposable income when you finally do decide to move back out. So let's get into these clips.
So I know you probably like noticed the changes in my videos, like as far as environment. Well, that's because I had to pack my shit up and move back home at my big age. Now, at first I was like, I'm not really gonna talk about it because it's kind of depressing, but maybe somebody needs to hear it. And this somebody ain't this fucking pimple, like the fuck. And you know, I'm gonna hit this motherfucker one day at a time. Let's not overwhelm ourselves. So I got hurt at work, and I haven't been able to work or do anything like that since like beginning of July. So I only had a check in like the beginning of July. We already living paycheck to paycheck, like the fuck. So that's hard enough as is. So you know me, I'm still gonna make the best out of a bad situation anyway. But like I'm starting from scratch, like no job. I don't have a plan right now. Like I'm getting into all that shit today. But I'm literally packing my house into a room. Even with all that, I would say I'm still like really fucking happy. I know that sounds weird, but I am. Stay with me on this journey.
I mean, I bet you are really happy. I mean, them bills. You ain't got that rent over your head. Like I said, a lot of these major cities, one bedroom, you're talking $2,500, $3,000 for a one bedroom. If you live in downtown, that doesn't even include parking. Like I said, again, if you have the option to live home, the smartest decision is, to put your pride to the side and do so. The one caveat, though, I will say is don't allow moving back in with family to make you comfortable. Now that you don't have that rent, beaten down the first of the month, don't get too comfortable where, you're not staying consistent with your goals. And you find time passing by, and like I said, you're not progressing the way you should be. That's the only downside I do see with moving back home. Sometimes people get too comfortable and, like I said, are not saving appropriately, and they wind up still being in a bad situation, living at home. Now you're 35, 40 plus, and you at home and you still don't have no savings.
Crib and you can't afford it, go back home, live with mama. It's okay. I graduated my master's and I stayed with me and my dad. We had started getting back on good terms. I stayed with him for a year and a half before I moved out.
How old was you?
25.
See?
25. Out my master's. I was like, I ain't moving to the city because I can't afford it. I ain't have much saved up.
Self-awareness.
Yep. I was like, shit, I'm gonna make that sacrifice, stay with him for 2 years, and then I was up and I got my own spot for a year, and then I bought a house after that.
What stops a lot of people from doing that? What my homies gonna say? What
pride and
the
ego.
chicks gonna say?
Listen, if your ego bigger than your bank account, you need to reevaluate, and we just gonna keep it.
Ooh, that's a gem. If your pride is bigger than your bank account, you need to reevaluate. Again, like I said, he touched on a very good point. A lot of times people graduate from school, they get these degrees, and they feel the social pressure to try to live up to these degrees. I got a master's degree in this. I got my bachelor's in this. And you feel like you have to live up to these, society standards. And you wind up, putting yourself behind the eight ball, trying to keep up with other people that really are probably just as broke as you.
That's just what it is. If you got too much ego to say, hey, I can't go back home to get my shit together because I want to live this type of life or I want to look a certain way, who you really trying to look good for? We just gonna keep it, but most men, they trying to look good for the bitches on social media. No disrespect, I'm sorry, the women on social media. That's what they trying to do. They want to look good for so-and-so to impress her, when it's like, bro, all you gotta do is be yourself.
How much money did you say that year staying with your pops?
Man, I was making 75.
See?
So all I had to do was help him with a couple bills, pay insurance and car note. Other than that, so I probably was saving a good 3 to 4, maybe 5.
Every
I ain't
month.
spend too much
Okay.
every month. Yeah, so that puts you in a good situation.
Save
but we don't
4,
think
5.
that. We turn 18 and say, hey, I got to get my own. I got to get out here and get it. Why? Why are you doing that to yourself? Other
Cultures
Asians
not like
don't do that. We the only ones who do that thing. I turn 18, I got to go.
And it's a lot of times it's the parents that saying now you 18, you have to go.
And if that's the case, find a roommate. You got friends. They parent might have said the same thing. Instead of, oh no, I need my own spot. No, you want your own spot. If you can't afford it, it's okay. It's okay to say, hey bro, I can't do this right now. Let me go stay in somebody's basement that might only charge me $500-$600 a month. Rather than trying to go get a one bedroom and spend in Atlanta, you're gonna spend what, 17, 19, 2100 on a one bedroom?
Crazy.
Because you want to live in the city? Just be smart.
Facts. We got to learn the difference between luxuries and necessities. Like I said, you don't need. I mean, if you don't have the family support, it's nothing wrong with renting a room. Like the brother said, renting a studio apartment, living in somebody's, maybe a makeshift garage where you paying, like I said, $700-$800 a month, and you could stack that money up. But the problem is, a lot of times people are too prideful and are really concerned too much the opinions of other people. Again, and a lot of times these other people is struggling and barely keeping their head above water themselves.
I moved back in with my parents like a month ago, after being on my own for like a year and a half. And at first I was super depressed about it because I'm losing my freedom and it feels like such a loser thing to do. But now I don't have any bills to pay. And I actually feel very free. I feel quite free. Yesterday, my mom made me breakfast, baby, and I didn't have to do anything. I feel really good. I feel really good. The whole independent woman thing, it was cute. It was cute while it was cute, but I'm having a lot better time not having to pay rent every month, Nothing is my responsibility anymore. And that's actually goals. So I won't be moving out again until I get married. I'm good with that.
She said being strong and independent was cute. I had a good run. It's time for me to retire. I'm back to the crib till I'm married. Shout out to that sister.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with moving back home. Moving back home is the reason why
Y'all heard him. There's nothing wrong with moving in back home. I heard him, and I needed a video like this, and a friend tagged me in this video because I moved out of my parents' house for the first time last August. I spent 6 months in Arizona. Arizona was just not working out, and my heart wasn't in it as well. So I moved back in with my parents, and I've been beating myself up because I'm like, dang, you're a failure. You're a failure. You moved back in with your parents, but it's like, am I really a failure? Like, girl, you speak multiple languages. You've accomplished so much on your influencing journey, like PR and brand events, and on top of that, you speak 3 languages. You're an educator. You just failed at moving out, and it's time to reset. And now I'm going to go ahead and build my savings, build my credit, and in a year and a half, we're gonna try this again. But there's nothing wrong with moving in with your parents.
Again, exactly. I said nothing wrong with moving back with your parents as long as you have a plan. Sounds like it says she has the right type of mindset going into it. Go into it, you're going to, be lean, you're going to stack your money, get your credit out. Now you jump out there, maybe you have 20, 30, 40, 50 plus $1,000 saved. And now you're ready to make, you can move and shake. Like I said, we live in a world now where it's just so much instant gratification. Everybody wants everything overnight. I mean, it doesn't help, when with social media. Every time you turn on Instagram or TikTok, you see some 18 or 19-year-old with a Lamborghini, or living in a downtown high-rise apartment on the 20th or 30th floor, and think that's really the norm when it's really not. I mean, that's a very small percentage of people that are actually living like that. And a lot of times the people that are living like that at such at a young age, their parents are financing that.
Back to a day in the life of a 30-year-old who's moving back home. This is the final stretch, y'all. So as you can see, there's absolutely no furniture left in my apartment. So what did the girl have to do? She slept on an air mattress. But y'all, yes, I'm living like a squatter in my own home. But y'all want to know what happened? The air mattress had a hole in it, and no matter how many times I tried to patch it up, it still deflated as I slept. So I ended up falling asleep on the floor. And at this time, it's like 6:45 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I had to get up. So I decided to kind of clean up my area, and I decided to fold up all my things, and I ended up trying to take a nap later, but my neighbors had other plans. They wanted to have a Sunday fun day and start smoking, and it was crazy in my apartment. But yeah, I decided to tape up some boxes, and oh yeah, I ran out of tape. Oh, it was just a hot mess. So I decided to go and pack up my things. Y'all, when I tell you the devil has been trying me this entire time, but I
Shout out to the sister to give us an inside look. It's a lot of people living in apartments just like this. Like I said, just to have their own place, living actually on blow up air mattresses, no furniture inside the apartment, all to say that they're living on their own, and to make people seem like they're doing well in life when they really literally would be better off moving back home, or like I said, renting a room, saving your money up for a year and a half, and then coming back stronger and better than ever. But like I said, as we see in the first clips, some people are so ego driven that they ultimately wind up drowning themselves in debt, and just in putting themselves behind in life, trying to keep up with other people.
Moving back in with my mother was the best thing that I could have did for myself, my child, my finances, my future. It's nobody there but me and my mom. So we really have like the best relationship. I'm 26 years old, by the way. We have the best relationships. I work overnights. I work like 4 days, sometimes 5 days in a row, but my mom cooks for me. She washes my clothes. She makes my bed sometimes. If I'm just too tired, she just goes in there and she just does whatever and everything for me. And she reminds me every day that she wants me there, and she doesn't care when I leave. She even told me she doesn't want me to leave, but she know eventually I'm gonna buy a house. But yeah, so I think moving back in with my mom was the best thing that I could have done. Don't let society and the black culture try to rush you out and tell you, oh, you shouldn't be living with your parents at such and such age, because it doesn't matter, honey, especially when the love is in the home. It doesn't matter what age that you're living with your parents, okay?
Facts. Like I said, she touched on a very good point, especially like I said, in black society. It's this notion that we have. A lot of parents, sadly, as soon as the kids turn 18, it's, oh, you grown. Um, you know, I raised you from birth to 18. It's time for you to fly out on your own. You literally, I actually been at work and hear coworkers counting down the days till their children turn 18 so they can they can leave the house and have to move out on their own. It's really sad and disheartening when I hear other things like that, because I mean in other communities, like I said, they don't mind living together as a family, pulling their resources, stacking up their money, and that's why sometimes you see other groups able to do certain things at such a young age. Is because they had that support system, that village, and that's very important.
If you are fortunate enough to live with your parents or have a situation where like a family member is willing to let you stay with them and you don't have to like really pay rent, and it's a situation that you can actually like tolerate, do it. For the last 10 years of my life, I've been renting, and I've moved home like a few times, but this is probably like the most disciplined I've been when I move home, because like I would move home and I would just like blow money and be out on the weekends all the time, splurging, traveling, just blowing my money. And that's
See, this is exactly what I'm saying. When you move back home, you want to be focused. You don't want to get comfortable just because you don't have that rent beating down your head. You want to stay focused and understand whatever goal that you have set in mind, that every day you're getting up and attacking that goal, and not, like I said, getting comfortable. Because that's one downside of, like I said, living at home does have.
not saving. But this time around, I'm just like in a different stage and phase of my life, and I've actually been saving money for a house, and like I'm not gonna share too much, but things are going well. And like on average, I've been able to save like 2,000 a month living with my parents. I haven't even been here that long, but I just noticed like a big change in my discipline with spending money. Like I used to just splurge and buy stuff and like run up credit card. And I don't do any of that anymore. Like I really do not use my credit card like unless I actually have to. Like I had an emergency at the vet, use it for that. But the point I'm saying is if you are blessed enough to stay with family members and save your money, like really save your money, because this economy is not no joke. And I just think some people take that for granted. Like
Exactly. Save your money so when you need it, it can save you.
Man, moving out of your parents' house. I mean, if it were me, I would stay in my parents' house for as long as possible. I didn't have that option because I hadn't lived with my parents since I was 14. But that afforded me a lot of opportunities for hardships. So if I had the opportunity to stay in, I would have definitely stayed for as long as I could, to stack money.
Care worker. So if you don't know, I'm an agency nurse. But come past me to me while I talk about why I will be moving back in with my parents to save for a home. So nursing rates aren't what they used to be. Currently, where I stay, rates are ranging between $40 to $50 an hour, which isn't bad, but it's not what it used to be.
I think what she's referring to is not what it used to be. I think she's talking about that pandemic money. A lot of nurses are making, quite a pretty penny during this time. But the fact that she's making $40, $50 an hour and still struggling, that's still a bit concerning. Like I said, um, again, no matter how much money you make, you still have to be able to manage your money and spend it wisely. Like I said, $40, $50. Again, I don't know the whole situation. Maybe she has children, or maybe she's living in a high cost area. But like I said, being a nurse, um, like I said, she said she's making 40 to 50. The one thing about nursing, like I said, I have a lot of family members that are in the field. There's always opportunities for overtime, and there's always somewhere you can work. Nursing is 24/7. Um, so, like I said, she shouldn't really be having the problems that she is. I think it's a little bit more to the story.
I cannot save how I want to. I feel like my rent right now, I might as well be paying a mortgage. Rent is so high, and of course, rent will continue to go up. So I might as well just go ahead and bite the bullet, move in with my parents, and save for my house. Plus, it would be easier as far as help with my boys. My mother will not really be charging me much of anything, which is such a blessing. So I will.
Now it makes sense. She has children, so yeah, that $40, $50 when you're talking about children, yeah, that's not too much. Like I said, we did a video on the high cost of childcare. I'll leave the description here or in the description below. You can check that out.
Will be definitely moving back in with my parents once my lease is up, and I think my lease is up in October, end of October, November. So I will be out of here. I will not be re-signing my lease. My mother had been told me to move in with her last year, but I just was being stubborn and didn't do it. But yeah, this year she got me. I'm going.
Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think it's okay to put your pride to the side and move back with your parents or a family member if ultimately it's going to help you better manage your finances and be further ahead in your life? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.